So people always say that gaming has changed over the years, and a lot of people say that it is completely worse nowadays. Whether you compare retro gaming, modern gaming, of course you're going to have differences, whether they're good, bad, or just, something that's new, something that you don't really quite understand. Well, when it comes to video game conventions, they have definitely shifted, and I'm seeing this like crazy phenomenon popping up all over the place. This is a time where you need to be alive and go to these conventions. You need to take advantage of these deals. Take advantage of everything that these conventions offer. And I'm here to give you some tips to think about when you're trying to figure out where you want to go and what you want to do and spend your time on. This gaming culture has definitely evolved, and these conventions are places to celebrate. These are like fantastic places, and I know people always say you can't find those deals. Well, you absolutely can. So we'll go ahead and talk about the fun things and the different tips that you may need to think about when you're choosing a video game convention in 2025. So it used to be a thing that you would go to these video game conventions and you'd pretty much see some sort of like swap meet. You'd see a bunch of tables, a bunch of resellers, and a bunch of people just selling items for above market. Well, that is not the case anymore. These conventions have so much more to do at, and it's just an insane, incredible time, especially with the people involved. Now, you can find those deals because I find them at every convention that I go to. You definitely want to hone in on what you're looking for. Maybe focus on those items that you don't necessarily see at your local video game stores. Are there items that you have been on the lookout for quite some time? Are there items that you want to try and find a little bit cheaper, maybe bundle some deals and things like that? Those are the items that you should look out for at these video game conventions, and it's always great to be organized and have an idea before you go into these conventions.
Thanks, Gamer Ahmer. Marbs here. Now, I start getting prepared for the new convention and show season in late December, early January. And part of that is because I've already tapped out all the resources locally, so a lot of the titles and things I'm looking for, either I have to buy from mail order, or if I can't get a mail order, I need to buy them during the show season. And if I don't get them during the show season, chances are I don't get them. So knowledge is power, folks, and my knowledge and power comes from this app called GameEye. Yes, that's right. It's an app for iPhone and Android, and you use it to track your inventory of your games, as well as the games that you are looking for and the games that you might have available to sell or trade. Now, I think it's important to avoid buying duplicates, and worse yet, overpaying. Because the software is linked to video game price charting, you can get real-time pricing information from the application. Now, I'm not going to pretend this is the only application out there to track your collection, but besides making an inventory, perhaps for insurance purposes, inventorying your collection can be a valuable tool to help you during the convention and show season. My name's Marbs. Thanks for watching. Now back to Gamer Ahmer.
So I absolutely love this method. I feel like it's very important to have a list, have those, holy grail items that you're looking for, because not always are you going to find them local. And sometimes you have to pay up if you're paying for shipping, but there's nothing more, exciting than when you find an item, you can hold it in your hand, see the condition, and make that deal. So if you have cash or bring trades or even work those bundle deals, you can really make out at these video game conventions and ultimately find a better deal than somewhere else online. That way you're not getting into these bidding wars over an item that, you just really want, but you just don't want to pay that extra for. I feel like you can always find these deals at conventions, and definitely make a note of what you're willing to pay for these items. You don't want to go in there and pay over market value, especially if you could work those deals, bundle, and pay cash. These are great experiences to find those awesome scores and walk away with just some crazy items that you may have never seen before. These people are bringing some of these top tier items, not just all common stuff, and they're really just bringing that experience, upping it more than just what you would see at one table or one store or one location. It's really cool to see everyone come together with this craziness, and hopefully you can walk away with some awesome items. Now, I also love video game conventions because there's more than just shopping. You get to play games, you get to meet creators, you get to see all of these celebrities, the voice actors, just people that played some of your favorite characters in history. And it's so amazing to see that. You get a little meet and greet. Of course, you have to pay a little extra, but you get an autograph. You just get to, take pictures and really have that moment. You get to meet some of your favorite content creators as well. It feels like this whole big celebration, this coming together, and this family when you go to these video game conventions. You also get to play games. You get to try out new and upcoming games, and you just get that hands-on experience where maybe you don't own every console. Maybe you don't own every arcade machine. Maybe you don't get to see those kiosks. So you get to see all of that at a lot of these video game conventions. They're really putting on these shows, whether they have musical talent, whether they have, I've seen magicians and just craziness when it comes to these video game conventions. I've seen a little bit of everything, so you really never know what you might find out.
Hey you guys, CJ here from CJ's Gaming Channel, and thank you so much to Gamer Ahmer for allowing me to give you guys one tip of advice when going to a convention. One piece of advice I would give you guys is to definitely prioritize on what you want to do when you're going to a convention, whether that be meet and greets and getting something signed, whether that be the marketplace or picking up video games. Definitely prioritize, because what happens at conventions is they're very busy, they're very crowded, and certain things happen at certain times. So you may miss something that you really want to do because you're over in the marketplace or trying to buy games versus you should be over at the meet and greet at this specific time. So that's one piece of advice I would give to you guys, is to prioritize, and also don't forget to have fun. All right guys, peace.
But it's absolutely great to prioritize that, because when you go to a video game convention, things can get hectic and crazy when you just walk in. You want to research this event, see what they have going on, whether there's different panels with your favorite content creator, whether they have these workshops where you get to, put together a Game Boy system and backlight the screen, whether they have all these interactive things like that. Some of them have trivia, or even these cool creative spots where your kids can get their face painted or just have a great time. I feel like it's just really family friendly, and a lot of these places are really catering towards a little kids corner. So I feel like you have to do your research. You have to know what you want to do at these conventions, spend a little bit of time shopping, spend a little bit of time playing, and then meeting people, talking, having a blast, having a good time, experiencing all of these extra activities, because that's included in your entry cost. You want to take advantage of these experiences, these trips out, and you want to get the most for your money. It's just a great time to plan ahead, be prepared, have a list, and just make those deals. Bring the trades, bring those items that maybe you don't want in your collection, and see if you can get other things that maybe you want to play, or maybe you have some stuff that are duplicates and you just want more. You can bring all of that together and, just be prepared. Of course, if you go to these gaming conventions that are further away than your state, maybe you have to travel, so you really have to keep in mind those travel expenses, whether it be by driving, gas money, or even flying, that airfare. You want to see if the hotels that are linked up to these conventions are offering some sort of deal. And that really helps out when you turn this into a little trip out. And then, of course, see who's going to be featured at these conventions. See which things they're going to have. I've been to some where they have amazing cosplay tournaments. They have things where you could win prizes, you can win money. They have raffles. They have so much extra stuff. I feel like every few minutes something new is going on, and you definitely don't want to miss out. So I feel like there is just so much going on in today's time that you really have to take advantage of this, and you don't want to miss out in 2025. There's so many conventions that have already happened, and there's so many more throughout the entire year. So I can't wait to see which ones are going to be super exciting, and I can't wait to experience some. I will be at least one so far, so I really can't wait to see how that one turns out. So if you guys are going to be in North Carolina in June at the Game & Geek Expo by Riley Retro Gamers. You guys have to stop on by and say hi, because that one is looking even better every single day. All of the activities, all of the guests, all of the content creators, and I can't wait to see what the future holds, because I've been to so many and each one I feel like gets better and better. So which conventions are you going to this year? And of course, let me know in the comments down below, what are some tips you have for people going to these conventions? So of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out all of my other videos and stay tuned for more.